What is going on, you guys? What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, and it is another episode of Philly's Morning Joe at 1 o'clock. It is what it is. Sometimes people wake up at different times, so maybe this is the morning for you guys. You never know. But what's going on, man? We got a lot to talk about today. I definitely want to just two things I want to talk about, honestly. There's two things. The Eagles have, the injury report out, so we see some things going on there. We see Nakobe Dean is now practicing limited, but he is practicing, so we'll see what happens with that. But look, the Eagles are on the road to 6-0. I truly do believe that the Eagles can go out there and handle business when it comes to the New York Jets. I don't believe that they're that great. So I think that we can go out there and be 6-0 when all is said and done. That will be a very good feeling. This could be a really big game for some of our rookies, some of our young guys, and some of our vets. I mean, you should be able to eat against Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson is definitely not a quarterback that should strike fear in anybody's heart. So we're going to see what happens with that, but I'm excited for it, man. I'm really excited for this game. It's just another day, right? It's another game, but I just can't wait. I can't. Seeing the Dallas Cowboys fans so sad and everything, it's just like every Sunday has a different meaning now. So it's awesome, it's awesome. But as always, we definitely have a poll up, and it's going to be a main topic that we're talking about. And I want to know if you guys would trade Quez Watkins or just start Oz. So Olamide Zaccheaus, I guess his nickname is Oz. But, so the options are just trade Quez. Obviously, Olamide would be the guy going in for him. Or keep Quez and start Olamide, or keep Quez as wide receiver 3. So far, we got 11 votes, 64% people saying trade Quez, 27% of you guys saying keep Quez but start Olamide, and then 9% of you guys are saying keep Quez as wide receiver 3. Look, I don't really have a dog in the fight at this point. I don't know how important, and this might sound stupid, but I don't know how important it is to find a wide receiver 3 right now that's going to get maybe 1 or 2 catches a game. So we'll see what happens with that. We also have Nakobe Dean coming back, and this is something we've talked about for a while, and whether or not Nakobe Dean has a starting spot when he comes back, I mean, we will see, right? And as you guys can see down below, we do have a call-in number now. So if you guys want to call in, you guys can go ahead and call in 215-475-5128. If you guys got anything you want to say on here, we will be back in the morning tomorrow. This isn't going to be a normal thing. I'm just off today. Wanted to sleep in a little bit, get some extra rest. Everybody needs that rest. But who we got in the building, man? We got 12 people in the building so far. What's going on, everybody? Who we got in here? We got Eagles Playbook. What's going on? Jinx Wolf in the building. Birdo in the building. Stony Hawks, and been saying trade him for a year now. Eagles Playbook said he got to go. What's going on, Dante? What's going on, Birdo? We should get at least 8 sacks this game. I agree. What's going on, Ryan Rowe? What's going on, Devon? I don't know if I'm saying that right. Or bring in Judy. If we could bring in Judy, that would be insane. But again, how many touches are these guys going to get? We're going to bring in another guy that, we're going to have to figure out how to utilize him, figure out how to spread the ball to him. We're already having issues, and I won't say issues, but we're already, having those conversations of get the ball more so to, Dallas Goedert, get the ball to this guy, get the ball to that guy. There's so many different guys on this team that can eat, from the running back to the wide receivers to the tight end to our quarterback himself. So, adding more mouths to feed, I don't know if that's necessarily the answer, but it might be. Who knows? It might be. I'm not too late. See you on LB on Twitter. Collab. I mean, maybe we'll collab. I mean, the whole conversation we were having, and shout out to LB. It's no. Some people feel like when we argue on Twitter, it's like because I hate the guy or he hates me or something. Like, no, we just having conversation. That's what happens. You know what I'm saying? People have conversations. So we were talking about Nakobe Dean, Zach Cunningham, and Nicholas Morrow. As you guys know, I love to call him Anthony. But, Nicholas Morrow. And look, I love what Nicholas Morrow's been doing, and I love what Zach Cunningham's been doing. Probably more so from Nicholas Morrow than Zach Cunningham. But if you truly feel that Nakobe Dean is the future of this team at linebacker, it's hard to not give him that spot back, and it's hard to keep him on the bench when realistically Nicholas Morrow is not the answer, like long term. I mean, he might be, in a lot of people's eyes, he might be. Maybe the Eagles look at him and be like, he's a cheap option next year, and we'll keep him. I could see that happening, but I don't know, man. I just don't know. I don't know if he's a long-term solution. That's really what it comes down to. I understand we're trying to win a Super Bowl right now. I understand that he's had some really good games, but I just feel like Nakobe Dean gives you a little bit more. I would love a world where they're both on the field. Now, that begs the question, who's going to be the green dot, right? And it's very, very rare. I don't think I've ever seen it happen that you have a rotation with your quarterback of the defense, right? It's very rare that you see one guy go in and the next guy go in and they're both green dots. That's not going to happen most likely. So it begs the question, who is your main guy? Are you going to go out there with Dean saying, all right, you're the guy calling the play, putting everybody in position, and, Morrow, we're just going to kind of lower your duties, right? Like, you don't have to do that now. You're just going to go out there and play loose. Don't really worry about nothing but what your assignment is. That could happen. That could happen. We'll see what happens. I really don't know. Would you trade Quez Watkins and a couple draft picks for Tyler Lockett? What are the draft picks? Probably not. But what are the draft picks? I don't really want to give up too much. I realistically, Dank says Quez just annoys me to the end. I get it. There's a lot to, be desired from Quez Watkins, but it could also be them not finding the place in this offense. There are times that he's open. There was that time that he was jumping in the end zone last game and people were saying that he ran the wrong route. I think that's very assumption, based. Like, we don't know, right? We don't know what these routes are. We don't know. We don't have the playbook. So to say something like that, it could have been Devontae Smith running the wrong route. It could have been AJ. It could have been any of them. So at the end of the day, I think that there's been opportunities for Quez to get involved, and I think that we've missed some of them. But on the other end, there's definitely been plays from Quez Watkins that, leave a lot to be desired, and we're sitting here like, what the heck is going on? Like, we want to see you do better. But I like Quez. And, it's tough. I don't want him to get traded, but I do think that Olamide deserves those snaps, and we'll talk about that soon. But, we'll see what happens. Oz has been more consistent when he is playing. Honestly, the numbers are sometimes misleading, right? But the numbers don't really back that up. They don't. Again, it's a very small sample size from both of them. So I don't know. He has been better as a blocker. I will say that. Just want a sure-handed guy that will catch his 2 passes that game. Facts, exactly. And if you're looking for something like that, then trading for a guy doesn't really make sense, in my opinion, right? Like, you probably have that on your roster. What's going on, D. Aldridge? What's going on? Birds need love too. Birds need love too. I'm confused. Passionate sports fan who cares about the team. I just don't like the offense, lack of creativity. And that could be something too, right? We're seeing Quez Watkins put in a lot of, catch the ball and try and run type of situations, and he can do that. We've seen him do that. We've seen him take the same screen that we're all upset that he didn't hit the right hole. We've seen that happen. I think it was his rookie year. He took that back for a touchdown. So, at the end of the day, we've seen Quez Watkins and what he can do. That speed is real, like Nick Sirianni says. Don't get me wrong, Olamide has some speed, but at the end of the day, we've seen what he can do. We've seen what he can do with the ball in his hands. So I don't think that it's a lack of talent. I think that it may be a lack of touches, or may be a lack of integration into the offense. It could be a lot of things, but I do think that Olamide deserves those snaps. I can't sit here and lie about that. This is all I care about. If Dean is a long-term, then he'll wait his turn. Yeah, he could, but if you think that he's better, then he should be out there. That's plain and simple. And you obviously thought that he was better coming into this season. And last year, you obviously knew he was going to be something for this team. I don't think that 5 games changes that, or 4 games changes that. Again, if I had to pick between Morrow and Cunningham, I would start Morrow over Cunningham. So I think that maybe you look at Zach Cunningham and you look at Nakobe Dean and say, all right, who am I going to, who do I want better? I think that if you compare Nakobe Dean to Zach Cunningham is probably more physical, probably more, of a imposing your will type of guy. He's going to make strong tackles, make kind of it plays, but Nakobe Dean can stop the run just as well, in my opinion. Maybe not just as well, but he can stop the run very well. He's better in pass coverage, in my opinion. He's a better overall guy. I truly do believe that. So, we'll see what happens. Morrow's playing too well right now. If it's 2 different arguments every time. We get annoyed when they play guys just because they drafted them, but then we want guys to play because we drafted them. It's not because we drafted. It really doesn't come down to that. I think that you have, and I think that sometimes we got to separate just Morrow. I think a lot of people are like, why would you want to bench Nicholas Morrow? All right, well then let's not bench Nicholas Morrow. Maybe it's Zach Cunningham. And I mean, realistically, that's what it comes down to. And I did a poll on Twitter the other day. Definitely go check out the Twitter and everything. And I said, who would your top 2 linebackers be? And once Nakobe obviously is activated, and he has been practicing limited, but he has been practicing, so that's a good sign. But Dean and Morrow seem to be the runaway favorite. 30% are saying to keep it the same, and then Dean and Cunningham come in last. I would go with Dean and Morrow. I would personally go with Dean and Morrow. But again, it comes down to how do you divvy up the responsibilities. How do you say, all right, this guy is going to be our green dot, this guy's not? That's really what it comes down to me. It's going to be hard to make that decision. And I said this on Twitter, bro. I'm glad I don't have to make that decision. I really am. I'm glad that I don't have to make that decision, because that's going to be a shitty decision to make, realistically. As the head coach, as the defensive coordinator, once something goes wrong, you're going to be blamed, whether it's fair or not. Right? Like if Dean goes in and he starts sucking, everybody's like, oh, why'd you take out whoever you took out? If, Morrow and Cunningham are trash one game, people are going to be like, why aren't we putting in Dean? So it's you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, if it doesn't go right. But I think that we're in a good position. This is a good problem to have, that you have so many guys that can step in there and make a true impact. Thoughts on Judy? I don't really see it happening, if I'm being 100% honest. We already have to pay Devontae Smith soon. We have 2 great wide receivers. Having a third very good wide receiver to great wide receiver, depending on how you look at Judy, obviously would be, beautiful. Shoot, if we could have a whole full team of all pros and pro bowlers and, whatever you want to call them, it would be awesome. But also it's, it might be a little overkill. I think that we need to figure out what we have and work out the kinks in what we have already. We have a good offense, especially. We have a very good offense, and I think that, it's by our standards, it hasn't been beautiful, right? We want to see this offense go out there and ball out every game. So it hasn't been perfect, but it also hasn't been bad. So, we're putting up damn near 30 points a game still, and we're not playing great. So imagine if we start playing great, these issues start getting cleared up. It's going to be tough to really put anybody else in there. So I think that we have a good enough offense. If you're going to spend assets, I think it should be on the defense. A week ago, you might have talked me into getting a guard or something, but I think Opetta's been playing well, so I think it's his job to lose at this point. You got some young guys, in a Tyler Steen. You got still Jack Driscoll, who's played inside sometimes. So you got guys that can definitely go in there and play some football if needed. So I'm not too high on getting anything for the offense, if I'm being honest. Dean isn't playing. That's the problem. I had high hopes for Dean. Third down catch versus Washington. TD versus Tampa. Big third down catch versus Tampa. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Are you talking about Olamide, or are you talking about Nakobe Dean? Was he open? Yes. Did he not run hard? Yes. But Quez gave us hope when he had nothing. Let's back off Quez. I think that Quez is a good player. I think that it's tough for, and we'll get into the numbers real quick, because, and these are very surface level, but so far Quez Watkins has 5 targets, which is not a lot. And both players, Olamide and Quez, both have 5 targets. Quez right now has 4 receptions, 21 yards. That's 80% catch percentage. So, I mean, look, it's not like he's getting a monster amount of, touches, and again, he's not making the most of his touches either. And when you look at Olamide, the only difference is the yards, right? You have 5 targets, 1 less catch at 3 catches, 69 yards, 60% catch. And his longest, I believe, was over 30. Let me check real quick, because I believe his long was pretty darn long, and it kind of throws off that 34 yards. So, I mean, out of those 69 yards, 34 yards of them came off of 1 play. So, I don't think that it's a huge difference between what we're seeing Olamide do and Quez do. It really comes down to blocking to me. I think that you have a better blocker in Olamide, so that's probably where I would go with that. That's really where I would go with that. I get the open thing. That's fine. If it opens things up. But if speed is the key, then our fastest player should be in the slot, which would be Quez, right? I don't think he's better than Morrow right now. He might not be. He might not be. If Morrow, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think we've seen enough to really say yes or no. Obviously, if you look at the college, and that's hard to really look at. I believe Morrow was a safety in college anyway. So it's tough. It is tough. I mean, it's a hard decision to make. And again, this is a really good position to be if you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan or if you're, part of the staff, because you are picking between good and good, right? Like you don't know too much about Nakobe Dean. Obviously, they know way more about Nakobe Dean than we do. But even if you look at that first game, I've been watching the first game tape, and Nakobe Dean looked really good in pass coverage. So I don't know. Personally, I would rather see Nakobe Dean and Morrow out there. So if there's a world that you can do that, and then maybe you can, kind of shift in Cunningham, then do that. I don't know. It's a tough decision. It really is. What's up, Joe? What's going on, Drew? The Cow Turds Nation is fractured, and I love it. Go Birds. Facts. Olamide Zacchaeus has to be in the slot playing with speed and more. So now to start. I mean, look, they both got some speed. They both are good options. I don't think that my biggest thing is people making it seem like Quez Watkins is the worst thing that ever happened to us. I don't believe that. I don't see that. I think that the Eagles are lucky right now that they have both options. So, make the right decision. Make the right decision for your team. And I have trust and faith in I have faith and trust in this staff that they'll make the right choice. I mean, they've been doing it. So I'm cool with it either way. We'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. You can use both when it comes to nickel packages on run downs. Use Morrow and Cunningham, Dean and Morrow, and passing downs. That's possible as well. I mean, but again, it comes down to the green dot. Who are you? Usually you don't really see the green dot coming on and off the field. So it's going to be a weird situation. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be very weird. It really is. But we'll see what happens with that. If there's a game to get Dean back, it's this one. But Dean is going to have to show out and shut up critics. Yeah, I mean, he hasn't been hurt that much. When he has played, I feel like he's been well. So I don't know. Cunningham is the best linebacker we've had since Trotter. I don't know about that. Cunningham has been all right, but he hasn't even been better than Morrow, in my opinion. So, I mean, he's good. He's all right. He's just terrible at pass coverage. That's really what I mean, but we knew that when he came in. Dank says this team will figure it out. This is really just as fans waiting to see the guys playing the best. Yeah. I mean, that's what it comes down to. As long as we're winning, I don't think anybody really cares who's out there, right? Like if we start winning and it's still Nicholas Morrow and Anthony Cunningham. Now I'm calling him Anthony Cunningham. If it's Zach Cunningham and Nicholas Morrow, I don't think anybody's gonna be mad. I know I won't be. I won't be sitting here saying, all right, we're winning, but let's put Dean in. You know what I'm saying? If they're playing well, they're playing well, and that's it. I mean, but it's a tough decision. It really is a tough decision, especially if you really have that faith in, Nakobe Dean to be that guy. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. If you think that he's your guy, you got to utilize him. You got to put him in. I mean, it is what it is. We don't see 24/7, right? We don't see everything with Nakobe Dean. So they've seen him in practice. They've seen him all off season. They know what they're getting out of Nakobe Dean. And when you listen to Nick Sirianni and company talk about him, it sounds like they're waiting to get him back out on the field. But again, it's a good situation to be. Yeah, I mean, so he said, I'll keep Cunningham. He said, we don't need another wide receiver. Just keep Dallas active and focus on helping the defense. I agree. I mean, that's really where I'm at right now. You have the weapons on offense. I don't think that you need any more weapons. I really don't. I mean, again, weapons are beautiful. Always, I'm always down to get better. But I don't think that there's much you can do to this offense to get really better outside of fixing the issues internally. And I think that they'll do that. I'll keep Cunningham in. It just sucks because we can't split reps with the Mike linebacker. Somebody should play the will linebacker, cross-train Dean or Morrow. I agree. I'm late to the show. Joe, tell me you didn't switch up on your guy Quez. I ain't switch up. I ain't never switch up. I tell you right now, I ain't never switch up. I think that he's a very good wide receiver. It just comes down to we're not utilizing the third wide receiver that much anyways. So at this point, it comes down to blocking. And you know, Olamide's been better at blocking. I mean, it is what it is. Like, I can't sit here and lie. So if you're basing it off what they've done on the field so far, I would probably give Olamide the snaps. But you can still split them. I don't know why it's like a 1 or 2 thing. Like, I don't think it has to be it's either Olamide or Quez. Like, use them both. Utilize them both. We figured it out on third down. Red zone will be next. Yeah. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Zacchaeus has made big plays when we need. He made it like 1 or 2 big plays. You know, and that's my thing. It's like even with the Nakobe Dean situation, I think a lot of people get hung up on what they just saw. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people, and don't get me wrong. Again, Zach Cunningham, Nicholas Marr, they've been playing very well, and I'm not bashing them, not hating on them, but at the end of the day, is my mic not working? Yeah, my mic's working. But at the end of the day, Nigel Bradham was good. But at the end of the day, you got to go with the talent, the overall talent. And I just feel like Nakobe Dean is that guy. I really do. My mic should be good. Can y'all hear me? Four or 5, 23 yards, 5 yards per catch is good. Why don't we like Quez? I mean, it's not even about the catches. I mean, he's been getting a lot of weird. I don't know. I can't defend Quez because realistically, at the end of the day, we've seen on the field he hasn't been what we wanted him to be. There's been not many mistakes, but there's times that you definitely want to see him make the most out of a play, and he hasn't. So it really comes down to that. It really does come down to that. You know, it's another good problem to have. It really is another good problem to have. Nigel Bradham was pretty good. He was. I've always been a Morrow guy. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't y'all want Quez gone after the Washington game last year? I didn't. But a lot of people have been wanting Quez gone for a while now. I'm not gonna lie to you. It doesn't make much sense to me. I love Philly and I love our fans, and I'm an Eagles fan, diehard through and through. But I feel like we're very reactionary. Like sometimes, I know Nicholas Marr just had a 3-sack game, but there's more to get to playing the linebacker position than that. And we've been winning with the guys that we have in, but we all know that the defense hasn't been at its best. And a lot of that has to do with the linebackers, and that has to do with the linebackers not being great in coverage. And I think that if you have a Nakobe Dean, that allows you to do more in pass coverage. So that's really where I am right now. It is what it is. I was one of the only people talking about how good I think Morrow is. Yeah, Morrow's good, man. Morrow is good. Quez being his emotions, he would make a great cow-turd wide receiver. When was he in his emotions? He deleted his Twitter because people were just kept like adding him saying dumb stuff. I mean, I don't think he's emotional at all. Again, I know his trainer. I've been able to kind of talk to him and get to know Quez a little bit, and I don't think that he's an emotional dude. I think that he's a strong-willed guy. I think that he knows what he wants to be and knows what he can be, and it frustrates him. I think he's just as frustrated with the lack of opportunity that he's had and the lack of taking advantage of the opportunities that he has had. So I don't know. I really don't think that. I don't know. I think people make assumptions about a lot of our players for really no reason. Like it is what it is. I think that it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Do you send Morrow to the practice squad, Joe, or keep both Dean and Morrow on the... Oh, I would keep Morrow on the active roster. There is no... You know what I'm saying? I'm going to make y'all eat y'all words. About who? About Morrow? I mean, look, again, I'm not saying he's trash. Again, I said that I would love to see Morrow and Nakobe Dean out there starting together. But, it is what it is. I mean, we have a good situation here. That's what I'm really trying to portray. It's not about arguing about who's going to go in. It's not about this guy sucks so that guy has to play. We got both good players. Both are very good players. So you have a very good option. You have very good options here. Quez Watkins is a wide receiver for a period. He doesn't handle the details like season slots. No knock on Quez. I mean, what are the details? What's up, Linda? And what's up, Benjamin? But what are the details? What are we talking about? Because the only thing that I feel like Quez is lacking in right now is blocking. I think he runs good routes. I think that he can catch the ball. I mean, he hasn't dropped. He just dropped. I don't even think he has a drop this year. Let me make sure. Hold up. I don't even think he has a drop. Let me see. Yeah, he doesn't even have a drop this year. Oh, no, that's Olamide. My fault. That's Olamide. Olamide doesn't have a drop, though. That's good. Hold on. I want to see if he has a drop or not. And the way that they, address drops is kind of weird anyways. Yeah, he doesn't have a drop this year. So I don't know. I mean, look, again, it's a good problem to have. This isn't, something we got to be upset about or nervous about. This is a good problem to have. If the Eagles can go into next week and start figuring out how to utilize everyone. The Eagles has the best linebacker core in the division. Play all three. It's a no-brainer. I wouldn't be mad at that either. It depends on what you're going to do now with the cornerbacks. And we're kind of weak at the slot anyway. So maybe that's the decision. There's so many things you can do. And to go back to the poll real quick, the poll right now, 32 votes, is would you trade Quez or just start Olamide? 47% are saying trade Quez. 41% are saying keep Quez and start Olamide. And then 12% are saying keep Quez as wide receiver 3. Another question comes, what would Quez's trade value be? And is it worth it? If you get a fifth or a sixth, is it really worth it? Maybe if you can package him to get a player, then maybe. But if you're only getting a mid to late round pick, is it really that worth it? I mean, he is coming up on his contract year, I believe. But is it really, really worth it? When did he have a drop? Let me see if I'm reading the wrong one. We're going to see right now. We're going to see right now if he had a drop. Or at least if he was, credited for a drop. Yeah, no, it says no drops. It says no drops. I mean, he's had 6 drops his whole career. 6 drops his whole career with over 100 targets. That's not terrible. That really is not terrible. And again, it's not about, this guy is better than that guy. I just feel like right now Olamide deserves to start because of his, blocking right now. I think that he's shown a little bit more in that area. That's really all that comes down to for me. And y'all know I love Quez. Routes, blocking, decoy, etc. I think that he runs routes just as good, if not better than Olamide. Blocking, I'll give you that. Decoy, I'm not really sure what you mean by that. Not really sure what you mean by decoy. Give Oz more opportunities. He's earned them. I agree. I'm concerned with the red zone, and as we should be. I think that's the area we got to improve upon right now. That really is. That's the biggest concern right now, right? Because we've seen Dallas Cowboys being terrible in the red zone and how it affected them. We can't go into the red zone. Luckily, right now, we're moving the ball pretty easily, right? We're moving the ball with ease on most teams. So that helps us because we are at least able to get some points out of everything. But we can't keep on depending on Jake Elliott. We can't. We know that he's great. And that's not the question. But we cannot keep on. All Quez drops are crucial drops. So you can't say that. You can't say that. If you don't know when the drops came, that's just literally you assuming. And that's what I don't understand. I don't get why we try to make things way worse than they are. Olamide has had a big catch. Olamide got a big touchdown, a really good play against the Bucs. Quez Watkins has not made a big play yet. He's made a play that a lot of people are talking about that he should have hit a different hole, but he has not been the reason we lost every game. Like that, to me, that's crazy. The Washington game, yes, I guess you can put that on him. There's a lot of factors that go into that game as well. The Super Bowl, I get it. You get upset that he dropped the pass. Jalen Hurts dropped a touchdown. There's a lot of different. Our defense literally didn't even play that game. So there's a lot of things that happened. I mean, we can. we focus on one thing because it's like the easy thing to point out. Quez Watkins is not making this team terrible. The Quez Watkins is not the reason we have bad red zone offense right now. Like, that's what we need to realize. That changing Olamide to Quez Watkins to Olamide is not going to make the difference y'all think. It really is not. It really is not. But again, I will say that Olamide deserves it right now. I want to reiterate that because I don't want people thinking I'm just sitting here blindly saying Quez. Joe, would you give up a first and a fourth for Patrick Surtain? Our pick is going to be lower pick. I would make them move. I would do that. I would do that quick. Quick, fast. Especially because we don't know. I mean, not to hate on Darius Slay, but he has looked like he's kind of, you know what I'm saying? I think he has been kind of slowing down. I hate to say it like that, but if you can get a young cornerback in here that's already kind of proven, not kind of. Pat Surtain is that dude, but I know they're not trying to get rid of him. They've already said they're not trying to get rid of him. They look at him as a building block. So, unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen. I did want it to happen, but King Dress said you're not getting him anything more than a 7th round pick, so you're better off packaging him with a player. I agree. I mean, yeah, if you're trying to get rid of him that bad, Hewing, where was the drop? Because in his stats, he's not a credit with the drop. So you think the Raiders should trade Hunter Renfrow? I'd send Quez to the Raiders for him. I mean, if they want to do like a heads up thing, I probably would do that. Yeah, if they wanted to do a heads up, just one guy for another, I would do that. I don't want to give up assets just to feel like I upgraded on Quez, because our third receiver between the two, all right, if you want between the two, they have 10 targets. Let's realistically think about that. So between Quez and Olamide and all the games that they've played, they have 10 targets. So we're looking for somebody to get 10 targets in 5 games. Obviously, if you get a really good wide receiver at that, slot position, you probably see more targets, right? But I don't know if that's really that big of a deal. I don't know. I just don't feel like we're getting a huge drop off from Quez Watkins to Olamide. I just don't. You have to sell the route when you run it. Helps the doubles on the wideouts. Look at Oz's tape. Watkins just running go routes. That's not true. Watkins has run way more than just go routes. That I don't agree with that. I really don't agree with that. Olamide is a good player, bro, but I don't know. I feel like we be trying to nitpick people that we don't want to see play, and I just don't get it. I don't get it. 303 with Quez in the slot, point proven. What do you mean? If we trade for Surtain, I think we should move Slay to the deep safety, let him roam over the top. That CGJ role. That would be interesting, but highly doubt we're going to get him. I ain't going to lie. Cannot judge Dean and his ability when his play was shortened by an injury. Will eyes be on him? Absolutely. Best available. Look, I mean, how much has he been hurt? He was hurt coming into the NFL after the draft, but I don't think he got hurt ever in college. Obviously, I think this is his first time missing a good amount of games. So I'm not gonna sit here and act like, oh, he's injury proof, injury prone. Nah, bro. I mean, it is what it is. Things happen. Zacchaeus is a pure slot wide receiver. Quez is just fast. His route running is not as good as Zacchaeus. I love Quez too because he's homegrown, but truth is truth, no bias. I got no bias. I don't agree with that. 319 with Oz in the slot, 303 with Quez. I rest my case. So we over here flexing off 16 yards. Come on. Let's be realistic. I don't think that is that big of a deal. I really don't. I really don't think it's that big of a deal. But I think that Olamide has shown that he deserves those slots as a blocker, and that's it. Quez is soft. How? How is Quez soft? I truly do feel like some of us are just very reactionary. I really don't get why we're so reactionary and so deep end. We're jumping off the deep end with him. Now I was being facetious. All right, I was about to say. That's what I'm saying. You're not getting a big drop off. It's really not that big of it really is not that big of a deal. I mean, it is what it is. How is he soft? How is Quez Watkins soft? I would love to know how Quez Watkins is soft. And I saw people on Twitter saying stuff like that, like, oh, he has no heart. How the hell do you know that? How can people make that statement? I really don't get that. And that's why people get upset he don't fight for yards. Where was Olamide fighting for yards? What are we talking about here? He's not AJ Brown. You're right. He is definitely not AJ Brown. Surtain is worth the first rounder if you're close to a Super Bowl. I would give up a first for Patrick Surtain. I would give up a first and a second. I would. Not in the same draft, but I would give up like a second this year and then a first next year. I would do that. I would even give up the Saints second this year. Realistically, I think that would be crazy. Oz makes plays, Joe. Okay, so does Quez. I mean, bro, Oz had one big play. And I'm not trying to hate on Olamide. I'm really not trying to hate on Olamide. But the notion that it's such a big difference to me is crazy. I just can't see it. I really cannot see it. And maybe I am biased. But I really can't see it. We'll see what happens. To what? Jose says 3 games, then a bye. Will Howie make his move before or after? I think Howie's going to make a move probably close to the bye, probably right before the bye, so he has that extra week to get a guy kind of going. But he also might not need to. I mean, Bradley Roby looked really, really good. Can we talk about the dots Jalen is dropping? Oh, he has been. Jalen has looked really, really good. And that's the whole thing, man. We trust Jalen. I want to trust Jalen. If Jalen says, bro, Oz is a way better option for me, then go with that. If he says, I don't give a damn either way, which I think is really the feel, because it's not a big difference. It really is not a big difference. You can make a argument that in the Buccaneers game, they really weren't paying attention to Olamide because they really focused on our run game and they focused on trying to make Jalen Hurts make decisions in the pocket. And Olamide took advantage of that big play. But I mean, Quez Watkins is a guy they know. They know he's got speed and they know he can go over the top of the defense. So that they are watching him. 2 plays, the one down the sideline and the one in the middle of the field along with his blocking assignments. Look, if you want Olamide, then that's fine. Like I said, Olamide probably does deserve it, but I'm not sitting here saying Quez is trash. And I don't like that people are questioning his heart, questioning, his motivation, if he's soft or not. Like, I think that's kind of weird. Let other people do that. Let, Cowboys fans do that. Let other teams, fans do that. Let the Niners fans do that. Us, talking junk about our own guys, I think that's weird. If you don't want him in there, that's fine. I get it. But let's be real. Let's talk about his play. I don't like talking about someone's heart or, their mindset or whatever it may be, or if he saw. I just don't like that. A lot of it is that Quez went all in on his revenge tour this offseason. Then he came out and done nothing but laid eggs since week 1. This is Philly. If you say you're going to produce, you better. I mean, but is it 100% his fault? There was games that Devontae Smith didn't see the ball. Dallas Goedert was not producing for the first couple games. That's not his fault. That's the thing. We have so many weapons. We have so many guys. Olamide Zaccheaus and Quez Watkins are probably your 5th option at best. Realistically, they're probably your 5th option, maybe 6th. If you're really realistic. I mean, Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, right? Dallas Goedert, your run game, Jalen Hurts as a runner. I mean, they're probably like your 4th, 5th, maybe 6th option on offense. So how often can you realistically get them involved? He low-key lost us the Super Bowl. That's crazy. Did he give up a touchdown on defense? He did not. No, he did not. He did not lose that Super Bowl for us. And I think that is crazy to say. If you want to say that, Jalen Hurts lost us that Super Bowl too. Our defense lost us that Super Bowl too. Aaron Sippus lost that Super Bowl. Lost us that Super Bowl too. There was so many things that happened in that Super Bowl. To key in on just his drop is crazy to me. I'm sorry. I just don't agree with that. I do not agree with that. That 3rd and 2, was it? He didn't follow the blockers. He didn't. But you know what? I've seen a lot of plays where running backs didn't follow blockers. I've seen a lot of plays where running backs took the wrong hole. Look, people make mistakes, and I don't understand crucifying these guys, especially when they're not. If it's AJ Brown, if it's Devontae Smith and they're dropping balls and they're looking bad and they just aren't getting open, then that's a conversation to have because those are your top options, right? But when we're sitting here talking about our 4th, 5th, maybe even 6th option on the offense, I mean, what are we really talking about here? And then to bash them how we're bashing, hey, what are we really talking about here? I just don't think it makes much sense. We're not talking bad. We call it how we see it, bro. And I haven't. No, I'm not. You haven't really called. I don't think you called. You did call him soft. So that is talking bad. That has nothing to do with football. I'm sorry. That has nothing to do with football. Calling someone soft because they're not capitalizing on their plays. Like, come on. I just think that that's a bit much. We can definitely judge our players. But when we're sitting here saying stuff that opponents say, like that's talking junk and analyzing our guys. I was sitting here analyzing Jalen Hurts all season one, his whole season, that he was the first year starter. Everybody was telling me, oh, you can't hate on him, blah, blah, blah. But I never called him soft. I never said that he had no heart. Like, that was never, it was all about football. And that's what we should keep it. If you want to keep it football, that's cool. But all that talking, like, oh, he's soft, he can't do it. Like, that's weird to me. I'm sorry. That's just weird to me. Dallas G will have another great game this weekend. I think so, too. What's going on, Weezy? What's going on? Get them likes up. Yes, sir. I think we got like 30 people in here, 35 people in here. Shout out to all of y'all. This is normally not my time. We'll be back to the morning. But, yeah, let's get those likes up. We got 20 likes, 35 people in here. We could do better. I appreciate y'all. But it's not that not the caliber of those players. He could have just showed up and not talked about it. I don't know. It doesn't affect me that he wants to prove people wrong. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Devon says, y'all got to understand it's only one ball. Just stack these wins. Exactly. I respect your opinion on Quez, bro, but Zacchaeus, not Quez. He gonna get traded though. Book it. You think? I don't think Quez is gonna get traded because there's not much you can get for him. And that's not hating on him. It's just like, realistically, it's not worth giving up a guy that knows your offense for a 7th round pick or a 6th round pick. It just doesn't make sense. Unless you're going to package him with somebody, then maybe that makes sense. But I don't know. I just don't see it. Quez is a quality number 3 bottom line, but the difference in speed to Quez is negligible. Oz is a home run boy with the Philly attitude and plays tough perception. I think they both offer very similar things, and that's why they both got 5 targets. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. There is 10 targets between the two of them. Sirianni didn't do Quez any favors during his presser this offseason either, saying fans think he stinks. It's the truth, though. Fans be talking mad junk about Quez for really no reason. I'm sorry. This is interesting. Don't see many blue star trolls here. What do you mean? Oh, Cowboys? Yeah, Cowboys, they gone. They are not. They ain't got time for this no more. They upset. And it's beautiful. I love it, to be honest. I think this is amazing. I think it's amazing, if I'm being honest. Look, when you look at this team, all right, when you realistically look at this team, we are in a very, very good position. We are lucky. We are very lucky as Eagles fans that we have to sit here and argue about the 4th, 5th position. And another thing, we're arguing about linebackers, right? Or debating, whatever you want to call it. Come on, Kobe, you want to come up here? My dog wants to come up. I guess not. He don't love me no more. But we're arguing about linebackers. When's the last time we could argue about our 3rd linebacker should get more play time? Like, that's a pretty good spot to be in. I can't remember the last time we had more than three, decent linebackers. Because even Christian Ellis, I mean, he had a tough week 1, but he showed some flashes in the preseason. So he's another guy that you can make an argument should maybe see the field a little bit more. And right now it's hard to because you got, guys playing so well ahead of him. But this is a good spot to be in. This is definitely a good spot to be in. Jalen low-key getting tired of Quez, just saying. How can you say that? Hold on. I gotta do something real quick. Because how do you say that? Realistically, how do we say that? We don't know. That and stuff like that confuses me too, because we'll see people say like, oh, Quez is what's it called? Quez ain't hold on, my bad. People are saying that Jalen Hurts don't trust Quez, stuff like that. How do we know that? How is that even a conversation? Because it doesn't. He's never said that. He ain't never said that. And that's why I'm saying we're being so assumptive. We're making assumptions. And I don't get why. Why make assumptions that are obviously going to affect this team? I mean, It will. At the end of the day, if you're consistently saying something online, these people read what you're saying. These people see what you're saying, and it just doesn't make sense. Why continuously hate on somebody for no reason? Realistically, he's our fourth or fifth option. I'm gonna keep going back to that. It's supposed to rain on Sunday, so our running game will be featured. Jets running defense is 29th. Yeah, but tomorrow we're going to talk about these Jets. We're definitely going to talk about these Jets because we've had some good games against the Jets. We've never lost against the Jets, but come on, guys. Come on. I'm not saying that this dude he doesn't get trusted, this, that. I think all that stuff is crazy. I think that's crazy to say. Fact, Sirianni said we love Quez because of the speed, not his route running. So to me, that says a lot. How does that, bro? We're reading so far, too deep into stuff. Y'all read it way too deep into stuff. I love y'all, and you know, I'm not trying to hate. I'm not trying to talk that jaw. I ain't trying to call you dumb or nothing like that. It ain't nothing like that. But I just feel Eagles fans in general read way too deep into stuff. Way too deep into it. Yeah, 70% chance of rain game time. They win versus trash. They won't go away. They lose by 32 and nowhere to be found. Facts. Shout out to Steven, man. Shout out to Steven. I appreciate you. Look, last season, the fumble in the Skins game, the big moment in the game was highlighted, and people remember that. Let it go. I kind of agree. Got to let it go. There's mistakes that were made by a lot of players, bro. There's a lot of mistakes by a lot of different players, and nobody has played a perfect game outside of maybe Jalen Carter right now. Jalen Carter has looked absolutely amazing. That boy, I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer. And maybe that's just way too early to say, but just seeing how he plays is just incredible. Like, he has been amazing. It is just fun to watch him play, but nobody's played perfectly. I agree with you, Bobby. I get that. And I'm cool with that. I don't hate Zaki. I don't hate Olamide. I don't hate Quez. I don't hate either of them. But I agree with you that, yeah, you should probably get, you know, he probably should get more snaps. But you can split them. And I think that's the biggest thing to me. It doesn't have to be, you know, an all or nothing type thing. Like, Zacchaeus can play. Just the same, Quez Watkins can play. I'm cool with that. We need Quez for insurance either way. I respect that. Rain, no problem. Just run it. Exactly. Eagles are a physical team, though. I don't see that from Quez. That's all. I don't know. Physicality, I guess, is a perception. I don't know what he has to do to be a physical running wide receiver. He's a small guy. Like, it's not like he's a 200-pound guy. Like, he's a small dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a small, quick guy. Like, that's his game. He doesn't want to run through you. He wants to run around you. That's kind of like saying, oh, Deshaun Jackson isn't physical enough for us. Like, that's not what his game was. He's trying to run by you. He's not trying to run through you. Are there games that haven't gotten over? What do you mean? Like, Eagles wise, the Super Bowl, that's it. That's it. Like, that's the only game right now that I'm thinking about. I constantly think about that because we were a Quez Watkins drop away. We were a holding call away. We were maybe a good punt from Aaron Sippis away. We were a fumble touchdown from away. You know, like, there was so many things that we did, and one of those things go right, and we possibly win that game, more than likely win that game. So I'll never get over that Super Bowl. Even if we win this year, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be like, damn, we could have had 2 in a row. It's gonna sting for a while. Smith is skinny but physical. Smith is skinny and physical. He was like that in college, though. I mean, that's his game. He's not really physical. He's not gonna run through you either. He high points the ball. Like, that's what he does. I mean, but you're again, we're comparing a wide receiver number 1A, whatever you want to be, whatever you want to say, to a fifth option on the offense. Like, you're not going to get a perfect fifth option. Like, you're just not. Your wide receiver 3 is not going to be, you know, Marvin Harrison Jr. That's just not who you're going to have. Like, it's just unrealistic to think that way. So, while I get it, they're definitely Olamide deserves snaps. You know, he's definitely played a little bit better than Quez Watkins. Quez Watkins has not made the most of his opportunities. I agree with all that. But a lot of the perception stuff, I don't know. The last game versus the Bucks at the Vet, I've never gotten over. Was that the one with the pick 6 at the end? No, right? The playoff game with the pick 6, was that? That was after, right? It's the fact that it's the fact he was going at fans, just going on the field. When was he going at fans? He said that he literally deleted his Twitter because he didn't want to deal with us. Like, I don't think he was going at fans. Sometimes I feel like our fans are a little bit sensitive. If you can talk junk to if you can talk junk to an NFL player, don't be shocked when he talks junk back. Simple as that. I mean, it is what it is. We all grown ups, like, well, so, you know, some of us, but we all at the age that we understand, you know what I mean? Like, if somebody talks junk to you about your job, I fully expect you to talk that junk. Every other team can count on their, the Rondé Barber pick 6. Yeah, that was tough. Every team can count on their number 3 wide receiver. Name a number 3 wide receiver right now. I want you to do that. Name a number 3 wide receiver right now. Do that for me. Not a guy that is number 2, number 3, a low option on their team that you think is that good. Realistically, the Super Bowl and the Arizona game in 2008, yeah. As for the Super Bowl, in reality, the Kansas City Chiefs had his hands on Quez's back shoulder and pulled. The ref was right there looking, no call from the back play. Facts. Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd is with the Bengals. They haven't looked that good. Let's look up Tyler Boyd's stats so far. Because we're going to do this. He's got 23 catches for 166 yards. That's good. It's pretty good. But he also has a lot of targets. Like, that's the thing. He has a lot of targets. How many targets does he have this year? He's got 34 targets compared to 5. I mean, like, let's be real. Let's be real. All right, so let's do that, right? So he has 23 targets, 166 yards. Quez Watkins has 5 targets for 21 yards. So let's multiply that, and he has 23 catches, right? Let's multiply the 5 targets by, we'll say 6. Now bring him to about 30. We'll do 7 because it'll be 35. So 7 times 20 something yards is 140. So he's basically on the same pace. Just saying. KJ Osborne. We could do the same damn thing with KJ Osborne. Let's do it. KJ Osborne has 26 targets. He has balling out. 26 targets, 13 catches, 166 yards. So, I mean, he's on a bet and 2 touchdowns. He's doing his thing, but also Kirk Cousins is throwing at a freaking, Tyler Boyd could be number 1 on a lot of teams. Kirk Cousins is going absolutely insane. Brandon Cooks is not their number 3, first of all. Brandon Cooks is not their number 3, and he's been hurt most of the year, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll look at his stats, too. You want to look at his stats, too? Let's do it. He's got 9 catches for 73 yards, and he's their number 2 wide receiver. How many targets? So far, he has 19 targets. He's their number 2 wide receiver, too. Cooks does look cooked. Okay, and he's a number 3 receiver. So one person, you brought up one person. KJ Osborne. Yeah, KJ Osborne's doing all right. So you brought up one person so far that is doing very well on one of the best offenses in the league right now. Because they before Justin Jefferson got hurt, they were on a historic pace as far as their offense goes, but they suck. So would you rather have KJ Osborne as your number 3 wide receiver and suck and not have a win yet? Puka is not no number 1 or number 2 or number 3. He is not no number 3. Stop that. I mean, it really, you can go either way. Jordan Addison or KJ Osborne, you can go either way. They're balling out. I mean, that offense is balling out. Let me see what Jordan Addison, because he did really good against us. I won't say really good, but he did pretty good. I love when y'all make me do stuff like this, because this opens up my eyes to a couple of things. Yeah, against us, he has 72 yards. But so far, he has 29 targets, 19 receptions. So again, these are yes, Slay is not practicing. So shout out to Devontae Jones with the $2 super chat saying that Slay is still not practicing. He's not. So that is a little bit worrisome. I kind of want to see Eli Ricks in there. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it sucks. It definitely sucks. I'm trying to think of Ravens number 3 wide receiver. What's going on, Joey? What's going on? Joey Shakes in the building. What's going on, brother? But that's my big thing. We are literally talking about guys that have 5-6 times the targets than Quez Watkins and Olamide have. So if you really, obviously projections are projections. That you can't really, it's hard to project what's going to happen from game to game. But if you put it out and project out what they would do with those targets, they're on the same path. They're on the same, ratio. So I don't know. It's hard to really say that these guys are trash or something. The Eagles added Brandon Smith to their practice squad, the linebacker. Ooh, I like that. He got speed on him. I agree, flying high. I mean, I really don't care as long as we winning. That's really all that matters to me. What if the Eagles keep him getting to the Super Bowl but losing? I mean, it's not his fault. If he goes out there and drops every single pass, fumbles every single pass, and they bring every single fumble that he had for a touchdown, then, maybe, he lost us that Super Bowl. But people are going to make mistakes. He's going to drop a ball. He's going to run a bad route. Like, there's things that are going to happen. Bro, I know Hurts missed Quez twice, and we're killing him on that bubble screen. I don't know what to say about it. My whole thing is, at the end of the day, people are going to make mistakes. He had 5 opportunities this year. He's caught 4 of those balls. I don't know what you want to see from him. Like, you want 5 targets for 5 receptions for 150 yards. Like, that's just unrealistic. That's unrealistic. Looks like they're keeping Braden Mann and no news about Dean yet. Yeah. Get you some coffee. Appreciate you, Benjamin, with the $5 super chat. Get you some coffee. Joe mentioned that Sports Journal on a regular, please. Yeah, the link. Definitely go check out the Sports Journal, man. I'll put up the link again before I get off of here, man. But yeah, that junk is fire. I'm waiting to get it. But once I get it, I'll show everybody and you guys can see what it is, because it is fire. I ain't gonna sit here and lie to you. It is fire, and I love seeing it. All I hear with your voice and the music is the Philly Shakedown. LOL. Let me turn it down a little bit. It's funny that Joey Shakes came in right when that came on, right? I'm trying to find the perfect volume. So hopefully this is a little bit better. Let me know if it is, flying high. Look like they're keeping I already read that. Quez has one job: clear out the safety and threaten the ball. Catching in is secondary. It's kind of true. It kind of is true. His job is to just clear things out, and he does that pretty well. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Copyright the Philly Shakedown podcast. Shout out to Joey, man. People don't realize that I made that. Still to this day, I don't think people all realize. Oh, my girl in the building. Shout out to my beautiful girl in the building. Beautiful, beautiful lady. I like the background beat. Good. Yeah, people still don't realize I made that song. It's funny every time I hear, oh, okay. All right, it was a good volume. Is it too low now? But no, it's funny people coming in and being like, wait, hold on. How do you have the Philly Shakedown beat as your beat? Like, bro, I made it. I'm the one that made that. I didn't make the beat. Shout out to my boy, your boy Sonny. He's fire with the beats, bro. He's an absolute animal. But either way, we got 29 likes, 35 people in the building. Can we get those likes up? I'd appreciate y'all if y'all could get those likes up. And don't watch Dan Cilio. But other than that, it is what it is. It is what it is. I ain't gonna hate. Super Bowl 58, Philly 17, Baltimore 23, Super Bowl 59. We are not getting blown out like that. This dude thinks Dallas gonna make the Super Bowl in 3 years. That's not gonna happen. Y'all gonna need to find a quarterback first. Y'all gonna definitely have to find a quarterback first, because Dak is not it. Dak is not it. I tell you that right now. Dak ain't it. But so far we got 53 votes on the poll, and the question is, would you trade Quez or just start Olamide? Trade Quez is 42%. Keep Quez and start Olamide is 40%. So that's pretty damn close. Keep Quez as wide receiver 3 is at 19%, coming in number 3. Dan works folks up, but he only had good stuff to say yesterday. Good. Maybe he's turning a new leaf. You know, maybe he's turning a new leaf. He won't call somebody a monkey today. That would be good for him. I'd be very proud of him, man. I really would. It would be nice to see. Hey, shout out to Amanda. Sorry for you and Joe's loss. We have 2 dogs. They are family. Yeah, it's tough. Yesterday, obviously, we didn't go live, and even now, just thinking about it, you know, it was her baby for 13 years or 16 years, excuse me. And, you know, I came in the last 3, and you build the bond, man. Shout out to her. She's an amazing mother. She's an amazing person. So, you know, I love my girl, and I hope that it's hard because you want to do something, right? Like you see somebody that you love hurting. It sucks because you feel like helpless. You feel like you can't do anything. But yeah, shout out to her. We're doing what we can, you know. We're doing what we can. Super Bowl 60 quarterback Dak Prescott wins Super Bowl MVP. I needed that good laugh. Thank you. I appreciate that. I needed that good laugh. That Buddha trade is too much, bro. Which Buddha trade? Did they trade for Buddha get traded? I hope not. I hope they didn't get traded to someone else. Did somebody he get traded, or are you just saying that? Oh, where is it? Where is it? Curtis Samuel too. Shake my head. You said Curtis Samuel is better than Quez. I'll look up his stats too. Say less. Who is their number 2 though? They have. Is it Jahan Dotson? Who's the Washington number 2? He has 27 targets for 23 receptions and 243 yards with a touchdown. But who's their number 1 and number 2? I know that obviously McLaurin is their number 1, right? But who's their number 2? I mean, look, if we can get Judy at a fair price, yeah, I mean, I would give up Quez, but what's the trade scenario, though? What was it? I didn't see it, Aldridge. Oh, Quez and a second for Blue. I would do that. I would do that in a heartbeat. I ain't going to lie. I would do that in a heartbeat. I don't think that's too much. I don't think that's too much at all. Quez and a second, I would do that. I would do that quick. Philly makes the Super Bowl 4 out of 5 years is the best for the NFC team ever. I can see us making the Super Bowl a good amount of times, but I don't see us losing it that many times. We are not the Bills. I promise you that we are not the Bills. I bet we could get Judy for a fourth or fifth. You think so? I don't know about that. I doubt that. Man, I mean, hey, if we could, then go ahead. I don't think that, though. Braxton Berrios for Miami is a decent wide receiver. 15, 159, and 1 touchdown. All right, I'll give you that. How many targets he got? How many targets we got? Because we're literally comparing guys with 25 plus targets to a guy with 5 targets. And that's what I'm trying to realistically, say to you guys is that, bro, he's not a big part of this offense. So saying we need to trade for this guy, trade for that guy, it's not going to do nothing. Damn, Braxton Berrios is doing his thing. 18 targets, 15 receptions, 159 yards, like you said. That's pretty darn good. I can't hate on that. Judy hasn't really produced in Denver, and he's on his last year of his contract. Yeah, I mean, bro, Judy, nobody has really done anything in Denver. That team is just sad, bro. I actually kind of feel bad for them. Like, I would be so mad if that was my team. If we had that much hype, right? You want to talk about hype, talking like they were so hyped up, and they are absolutely garbage. It's insane. Like, letting somebody put 70 up on you, like, bro, that is Denver country. Or what is it? Broncos country. Let's ride. I think that's so funny. Jalen Hurts to ESPN reporter. I'm not happy with making 4 Super Bowls. I want to win. Facts. I doubt that we would go into the Super Bowl and lose that much. How could Quez get more targets? He was injured. What do you mean? He was out for like one game. Russ had the saddest let's ride ever the other day. Oh yeah, Broncos Country, let's ride, man. let's ride. I guess we got to ride. Right, they are bringing up dudes who are the actual third option on the team when Quez is like exactly. That's my whole point. We're comparing. Like, do you want Quez to get more targets? If Quez is getting more targets, we got to be worried. Honestly, if Quez is getting 5-6 targets a game, that's taken from AJ Brown. That's taken from this run game. That's taken from Devontae Smith. That's taken from Dallas Goedert. That's taken from everybody. I filled out a pre-order film for. Oh, I'll reach out to you, Berto. I'll reach out to you. I appreciate that. Yeah, there is a pre-order form out right now. I don't know if I have the thing anymore. I don't. Of course, I don't. But yeah, definitely. The link is in the description for the hat. You want Philly hat. And we're doing a giveaway for the top 25 people. So we're giving away a Sean Merriman signed poster. I might change it up. I know a lot of people don't really give a damn about Sean Merriman because we Eagles fans. So I might do an Eagles thing. My girl don't want me to do it, but it is what it is. I also have an autographed Bijan Robinson photograph, if people like that. I'm not giving up my Darius Slay jersey. I do have a white Michael Vick jersey that's signed that I'm thinking about maybe adding that to it. I have a couple. I have a Brian Dawkins one that I'm not giving up. I got a couple, so we'll talk about it. But I'll reach out to you and we'll get that going, brother. I appreciate you, Berto. I appreciate you. I'm trying to get these hats out there. And the only reason I'm doing it like this and not putting it up on a store is because I want to figure out what people like, color scheme, stuff like that. So that's why I want to reach out to you before you pay for anything so I can figure out how you want it and exactly what you like. So we'll do it. Sell it to a Falcons fan. I have a friend that's a Falcons fan that I might just send it to him. But I kind of want to keep it because I got to meet him. It was a cool story. But, my boy is a huge Falcons fan, and that's my dog, so I might do it. They having problems getting the real playmakers the ball. Ain't no need to worry about the third wide receiver. That's kind of where I am right now. Jalen Carter strip sacks Russ and says, let's ride to Cancun to Russ, and the Eagles win the Super Bowl. I like that. Steve, you funny. I rocks with you, bro. You welcome me anytime. But yeah, no, Berto, I'll reach out to you. As long as you left, which I think you have to leave either an email or your phone number, I'll reach out to you. And speaking of phone number, guys, I am going to get off here pretty soon, but from now on, we are going to be doing call-ins. So if you ever want to call in, this is the link. Every show, we're going to be doing this. So I know a lot of people like call-ins. A lot of people like to voice their opinion, and I want to give you the option to do that. I want to give you the opportunity to do that. So from now on, this is what we're going to do, all right? This is how we're going to get down. We're going to have the call-in number always available. You can text it in off days. If I'm not live, you can text the number and you can ask me questions. And, if I like the question, if it's something I want to talk about on the show the next day, then that's what we'll do. So definitely, I hope you guys enjoy that. I hope that's something that we can start to really, integrate into the show because I want to hear more from you guys. I think that you guys make this show what it is. So I definitely appreciate everybody that tuned in. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, join the family. And just before we get out of here, I do want to go one more time. We gonna go over this poll. We gonna celebrate. All right, I'm sorry, that was weird. Would you trade Quez? 55 votes, and it is deadly close. It is crazy close. So would you trade Quez or just start Olamide? Trade Quez has 42%. Keep Quez but start Olamide has 40%. And keep Quez as your wide receiver 3 has 18%. I'm going to go with what isn't up there because that's what I like to do. I like to make y'all decide between things I'm not going to decide between. But at the end of the day, okay? I think that you need to utilize both of them. Get Quez in there, get Olamide in there. There's no reason why they both can't be playing. There's no reason why they can't both be getting snaps. So I think that if you can utilize both of them, that is the smartest way to do it. Troy Martin says, sup, bro, it's not too much about the catches for the third wide receiver, but he got to be able to take the top off the defense, which I think both can do. And that's why I say you got to utilize both. I think you can. So let's get it. I'm excited, man. I'm excited for what's going on. We'll see what happens this game. Tomorrow I will be back in the morning 1-800-Coffee for Joe. I like that. I should have used that as the actual number. But no, I appreciate you guys, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Thank you to everybody that came out. I know this is a late show, late notice. But yeah, appreciate you guys. But other than that, y'all know what it is, man. It is Fly Eagles Fly, and we are out here. Say it with your boy. Peace.
Everywhere. This is for you.
Fly Eagles flying on the team. Touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a Bird Gang Nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man saw Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randall. Season here, early time to do him in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning in.